Hello and welcome back to our JRPG series. In the last episode we started work on our magic menu, and in this episode we're going to fancy it up with some nice UI animations. So we're going to get some nice fading in, zooming in and giving that three-dimensional feel to our UI. So let's get started. Okay, so to improve the animation and effects of our UI for the magic targeting system, we're going to go into the HUD here and we're going to add another animation. So we've got two animations at the moment where one is showing a target and the other one is showing the magic menu. So we need to make a sort of combination of these where if I select the spell, it will do show the target menu, but also hide the magic menu. So I'm going to make a new animation here, and we of want to show magic target. And on there, we're going to add first of all the target menus animation. So that I can just go into the target animation here and right click copy the target window, and if I go into the show magic target now and paste that track, it'll copy it over. So now we've got this going on. Next we want to make our background anim be already in the background, so it starts off in the background. So we're going to go to our show target anim. I'm going to copy the action commands, go into here and paste it in here. But for this one, because it's already going to be hidden, so it's already going to be in this state, I want to make these keys the first keys. So I'm just going to select all these first keys here and delete them and move these ones to the front. Okay. So then I want to do the magic menu. So I'm going to go to the show magic menu and I'm going to copy the magic window track and copy that in here. And similarly, I'm just going to delete the first few frames here and move each of these keys back to the first frame. So it's already out into the screen. Like so. So at the moment, it looks like this. Okay, so not too bad, but we want to make it a little bit better. So we're going to go into the action commands first of all. And we're going to go in, not action commands, we're going to go into the show target anim. And I'm going to open up the action commands. I want to mimic that movement for the action command window where it scales down and changes color. I'm going to copy that into my magic window. So I'm going to copy all of these tracks and go to the magic window on the magic target. And I'm going to select it, right click and paste that in here. So now the spell will go backwards. Okay. Let's go a little bit step further. I'm going to go into my action commands and I'm going to make this also shrink a little bit further backwards. So it adds a little more depth to our UI. So I'm going to move it to the end here. And on the transform, on scale, I'm going to add another key to this. And this is going to go down another 0.2, so we're going to put 0.6 and 0.6. So the final animation looks like this. Okay. Again, we can do something a little bit better. So if I go into my magic window and look at the transform scale going on here, if I click on the scale here, I'm going to drag that forward just a little bit. So what happens now is you get this sort of delayed effect where it'll keep on going. Just only slightly delayed. Don't know if you're seeing that clearly, but it's a slight delay in it moving backwards compared to the action command window. So I'm also going to go to action command window, go to its scale here, and move the scale key in one as well. So you get sort of a lagged effect where it's sort of like cards falling into each other. Okay. Again, looks like that. Okay, I think we're quite happy with that. So you can hit compile and save this. So the one thing we want to make sure of is that our visibility checks are all okay. It should be okay because we copied them from good places, but we'll double check. So the action commands here should stay and remain self and non-hit testable self and all children. Okay, so nothing's changing on the timeline for that. That's correct. the magic window is going to start off as non-hit testable with self only, but then when it gets to here, we want to make it self and all children. So you can see here it changes to self and all children. Okay, and then target window should come in self and all children and then change to self only. That means we can only click on this and nothing else. We hit save on there and then go to the graph. Now, to know which one we want to use, whether we want to show target or show magic target, that's going to be depending on our render opacity of our magic window. So on the show targets custom event, we've got the play animation here. I'm just going to disconnect that for now. And on the in animation, we're going to do a select node. And the condition for this is going to be taking the magic window out and checking its render opacity. Oh, the get render opacity rather. Get render opacity. And we're simply going to check if that is greater than and do 0.5. And that'll go into the index here as the condition. So if this is true and it's greater than 0.5, which means the magic window is on the screen and visible, that means we want to show the magic window target menu instead. So we go show magic target and bring that in here, and that'll go into true. Otherwise, false, we'll just use the normal show target anim. Okay, hit compile and save that. Next, we want to call the hide targets. So in hide targets, it'd be very similar to this. We're just going to take this bit here, copy it, and paste that alongside this, like so, and plug that into in animation. And the show target element is going to go into false, and the show magic target is going to go into true. And that's playing it in reverse to hide the menu. Okay, so let's have a look to see how that looks in our game. So push play and wait for the menu to pop up. And here we are. I go to magic, which is black magic, which is default spell, and that all, like, as you see, it sort of stacks in. It looks like a card system. And I've got all this here. Hit back, and it'll go back to the spell. And we then want to work on the back button for the spell here to allow us to, when we click back on magic, to go back to the black and white magic selection. So this back button will change its functionality based on which active widget we're on. So let's add that functionality in, and then we're done. So let's go back to our magic window and go to the back button event, which is here. So we got call return selected. We only want to do this if we're in the active widget 0. So I'm going to take the widget switcher, get, and we're going to get active widget and get the active widget index. And we're going to check if this is equal to 0. And put that into a branch, plug that in. So if that's true, it means that we're on the home part of the switcher, which means we can call the return selected. Otherwise, we're going to take the widget switcher and set the active widget index to the get magic index -1. Get active widget index and do minus int -1. So it'll go back through the widget index switcher. So again, let's test this out in properly. Wait for the enemy to finish their attack. Okay, magic, black magic, and if I go back now, it'll go back to this menu, and if it back here, it'll go back to this menu. I can go through here, here, and cast my spell, which you'll see doesn't do anything just yet. And there we have it. Okay, So we've now got a much nicer looking animation set up for our window here. One thing I might tweak here is change the scaling a little bit of the attack window so it doesn't fall too far in the distance. I'm going to go to show magic target, go to action commands, and go to this one here. Change the scale from 0.6 to, I'm going to try 0.7 and see how that looks in our game. So we're going for the card look, so it looks like things are falling into the distance, like dropping cards onto a table. So it is to finish. Magic. Black magic. There we are. So we now have a nice looking menu system for our magic. Now to actually cast the spells itself. So in the next episode, we're going to go through and set up the fire spell for Greystone, including the animations and effects for our character. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more videos from me early before anyone else, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley, where you can catch all my videos from just $1 a month. As a thank you to all my patrons and YouTube members for the continued support. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone.